Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Pre-subscribe my channel. That's $1 million story right there, I said, a little breathlessly. It was a joke, of course, but it felt true. In that moment, a story was worth more than any prize. It was a Wheel of Fortune taping, and the air was thick with the usual static of excitement, the whirring of the big wheel, and the familiar, friendly face of Ryan Seacrest. But something was different. You could feel it. The contestant, a woman named Sarah, had just solved a puzzle. The confetti was still swirling, but her eyes were fixed on Ryan, not the prize board. She said, "I just want to thank you, Ryan, for sharing that story about your dad. It meant a lot to me, and I know it meant a lot to a lot of people watching." Ryan Seacrest, the man who has interviewed more celebrities and hosted more live shows than I can count, was visibly moved. He didn't just thank her and move on. He paused. He looked at the audience. He looked at the camera. He looked at Sarah. "You know," he said, his voice softer than usual, "my dad, he's my hero. He's the reason I'm here. He's the reason I'm able to do what I do." He told a story about his dad, a man who, he said, always believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself. He told a story about how his dad would watch him on TV even in the middle of the night and would call him afterwards just to tell him how proud he was. "It's a gift," Ryan said, "to have someone in your corner like that. Someone who believes in you no matter what." And that was it. That was the moment. The energy in the room shifted. It wasn't about the puzzles anymore. It wasn't about the prizes. It was about something deeper, something more human. It was about a son talking about his dad. It was about a contestant, a stranger, who had connected with that story and had the courage to say so. It was about two people on a game show stage connecting over something real, something personal. I'm telling you this story because it's not just a story about a game show. It's a story about what happens when we stop being afraid to be human. It's a story about the power of connection, the power of vulnerability, the power of a shared story. It's about how, in a world that's often loud and impersonal, a simple, honest story can cut through the noise and make us feel seen, heard, and understood. And that's exactly what happened that day on Wheel of Fortune. The game continued, of course. Sarah, who had started the conversation, went on to solve another puzzle. She won the big prize. The confetti rained down again, and this time it felt different. It felt like she hadn't just won a prize. She had won something more. She had won a moment of real connection, a moment of shared humanity. And in that moment, I realized something. Winning isn't always about the prize. Sometimes it's about the story. Sometimes it's about the connection. Sometimes it's about the vulnerability that allows us to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood. So, here's my challenge to you. What's your story? What's the story you're afraid to tell? What's the story that, if you told it, might just connect you with someone else? Because you never know. That story might just be worth more than any prize.